My name is Nadine, or Danger Dina, singer of Space Parasites. I'm here with World of Metal, who asked us to do an interview, and well, here we are. And thank you for having us. I'm currently in home with all my Starkey plushies and having a bad hair day. Anywho, okay, let's do this. To explain what changed since the Spellbound Witch, I have to travel back in time a bit. When we first started out as a band, everything was still a bit chaotic. We didn't really know where we wanted to go or what we wanted to achieve. We just knew that we wanted to play metal. When I was summoned into Space Parasites, a few songs had already been written, so I just had to sing them. Songs like Space Wolf, Thrash Doctor, or Blood Island, which I actually really liked. When we recorded Raw and Violent, it became pretty clear what we wanted our music to sound like. It just still needed a lot of fine-tuning. My intonation was pretty shitty. I sounded like Cartman on cocaine, which I still find funny and somehow fitting. Anyhow, Iron Dashke, Willy, and Diana and I decided that we needed a second guitar player. So Muddy hopped on board. And off we went, writing The Spellbound Witch. Here, much like on the first album, Dashke took over most of the songwriting, with Muddy contributing a few ideas here and there. I wrote most of the lyrics for The Spellbound Witch. You can already hear where we are heading on this album. We had a lot of fun, and we played gigs both near and far. While we had already started writing songs for Make Me Evil, Diana and Willy decided to leave the band. We were sad to see them go, but the three of us still wanted to play metal. So we recruited Timo on bass and Liam from Idle Ruin on drums, while Timo stayed and contributed his ideas to the writing process of Make Me Evil. Liam eventually left to head back to Ausland. Since you can't really play without a decent drummer, we focused on writing new songs. That left Iron Dashke, Matti Masaka, Timo Taro, and me. The different influences we picked up over the years, along with new releases from bands we love and look up to, have helped improve our songwriting. The core members who stayed also developed as musicians. Hey, musicians. We developed as musicians and gradually found our own sound. That sound that first emerged on The Spellbound Witch and was sharpened and polished on Make Me Evil. Yes. All right. I had to get a new drink, so cheers. Okay. The writing process for Make Me Evil was quite different from our previous releases because Matti Masaka took on a much bigger role in the songwriting. And he wanted to write at least half of the album musically, and so they divided the songwriting duties, and half of Make Me Evil was written by Iron Dashke and the other half was written by Matti Masaka. I guess Dashke was pretty happy about that he didn't have to do it all by himself. Matti Masaka even contributed lyrics while he wrote Hostiles completely on his own. Both of us worked on the lyrics for Fortress. The lyrics for Monster were actually written last on a summer night in my garden. I'm still thankful for how that song turned out because the lyrics mean a lot to me. The first song we actually worked on was Hellbound. That one was already around when we released The Spellbound Witch. The same goes for Neckbreaker, although it had a completely different approach. Back then, different hook line, different lyrics, it was different everything. I actually wrote those lyrics while sitting on the train and listening to a spooky horror story. I like horror stories, as you may have noticed. And yeah, the writing process itself promised more variety, more detail when two innovative fellas put their creative hats together and actually have the time to work things out. Something really awesome is about to happen. And Iron Dashke's songwriting is much more spontaneous. I remember writing the lyrics for She while being absolutely hungover because he had sent me a message the day before where I was out drinking with friends saying that he needed the lyrics by yesterday. He just wakes up, has ideas in his hand, plays a guitar for a few hours, and boom, he has a rough song structure. What follows is maybe 2 weeks of fine-tuning, and then we have a song. And we went to Martin Buchwalter's studio in Troisdorf fully prepared and keen to play and sing until we had frog fingers and couldn't say anything anymore. It took 12 days to record the album, and it was a lot of fun. And it involved beers, of course. Well, hey, again, well is my word to go to. Anywho, cheers. We certainly hope you like Make Me Evil. That's an album you can truly enjoy. We hope to surprise our current fans and gain some new ones along the way. I personally hope that listeners can find something in the lyrics and connect with the way the music rolls through your soul and body, just as it did with mine. I hope people can feel the way it all comes together. With Make Me Evil, we really tried to push our boundaries and challenge ourselves creatively. Mostly we hope people enjoy the album and come and see us at a show. Metal is best experienced live, after all. Yes, I think the metal scene is alive and well. There are so many great bands out there, and it's easier than ever to discover new music. Sometimes it feels like there are more bands than venues, and the underground is very active. Unfortunately, a lot of smaller venues have closed down and costs have gone up across the board, which makes it harder to get gigs and organize shows. But despite that, I think the passion is still there. Metal has survived every trend that was supposed to kill it, and I don't see that any time changing soon. Well, yes, first we have to find a drummer. It turns out that having one is rather important if you want to play live. We're really keen to get back on stage, but first we need to rehearse and get everything ready. Once that's done, we can't wait to blast your ass off and curse you into hell. And we will be seeing you sooner than you think. Cheers, mates!